All right, let's jump right into this. If you follow the EV space at all, you already know the endless debate over battery size and charging. But in today's explainer, we're actually going to look at why the whole industry narrative on this is, well, probably dead wrong. We're tossing out the spreadsheets for a minute to really understand the deep, almost sociological reasons why we stress so much about how far our electric cars can go. So let's start right here with a very specific number, 50 kilometers. Basically, your average daily urban commute. You literally see this figure everywhere in automotive industry reports. It is the core metric that engineers point to when justifying smaller EV batteries. They look at this 50-kilometer reality, do the math, and say, hey, a massive battery, it's just total overkill for your everyday life.
But then, bam, we instantly hit this much, much larger number, 1,000 kilometers. This right here represents the psychological safety boundary that everyday consumers actually crave to feel secure. So why on earth is there a massive 950-kilometer gap between what people actually drive on a Tuesday and what they absolutely demand their cars can do? Well, that huge discrepancy is exactly what we're breaking down today.
Okay, moving into Section 1, the expert's rational arrogance, and why the math totally fails the consumer.
If you spend any time in the EV echo chamber, you're going to hear this expert take all the time. A lot of manufacturers look at a standard 300-kilometer range and confidently claim, yep, that's plenty. In fact, the source material calls this attitude rational arrogance. They kind of mock consumer range anxiety, brushing it off as just bad math or some irrational psychological quirk. They think if you just calculate your daily commute properly, you'd stop worrying. But you know what? They're completely missing the deeper sociology of why we actually own cars.
And this really hits the nail on the head regarding the core logical fallacy here. It's wild. Experts are staring at this totally predictable, linear little box. Home to work, work to home. But come on, we don't live in a vacuum. Humans subconsciously plan for the total unpredictable chaos of life, mixing up a predictable daily commute with the absolute need for emergency redundancy. That is a fundamental flaw in the industry's entire logic.
Which perfectly tees up Section 2, range is emergency redundancy, moving way beyond just that daily commute.
The crucial thing to grasp here is this incredibly powerful concept of the instant migration right. It's something most of us don't even actively think about, but historically, the invention of the car gave regular people a brand new fundamental human right, the ability to rapidly cross vast distances at a moment's notice. Think about it. We are talking about basic survival and risk avoidance. If a natural disaster hits your town, or there's a family crisis 3 states over, your car isn't just a commuter pod anymore. It's literally the physical extension of your right to instantly seek safety.
So let's think about how this completely changes your emotional bond with the vehicle. A car with massive range, that's a reliable partner. Picture getting one of those terrifying midnight emergency calls from a relative. With a reliable partner, you just jump in and drive. But if your car only has enough juice to get you to the office tomorrow morning, leaving you totally helpless to respond to that midnight crisis, its whole identity flips. It goes from a trusted partner to basically a mobile prison, putting geographic shackles on you exactly when you need your freedom the absolute most.
All right, let's head into Section 3, migration rights and safety, and look at that 1,000-kilometer boundary.
Just look at how crazy the contrast is between what we're used to and this new reality. With a gas car, filling up takes, 10 minutes? And it gives you this emotional state of absolute control. You pull in, pump gas, and boom, you instantly buy yourself another 1,000 kilometers of total freedom. Now, look over at the EV side. Recharging right now often means uncertain wait times, and the emotion that goes with that? Pure anxiety. Seriously, imagine driving through a winter storm and literally praying you find a working fast charger. When charging devolves from arrive and go to wait and pray, it completely strips away your ability to defend yourself against unknown risks.
And that actually brings us to a really profound quote from the source material. In modern society, the freedom of energy supply directly equals the breadth of survival space. I love that. It brilliantly distills this whole debate. Range anxiety has absolutely nothing to do with people being bad at math. It is a 100% rational response to having your survival space suddenly restricted. When getting energy turns into a gamble, your world literally shrinks.
Which leads us nicely into Section 4, energy access equality, and how we actually solve this true anxiety.
You see, consumers aren't really sweating the exact mileage number on the dashboard. They're anxious about the equality and convenience of actually getting energy. The source lays out 2 real ways to fix this. Step 1 is what they dramatically call violent range extension. That essentially means packing in batteries so massive that one single charge can easily cover a cross-province emergency escape. Or there's step 2, revolutionary charging acceleration. That means upgrading the grid so charging an EV feels exactly like going to a gas station, just a quick 10-minute thoughtless pit stop. Until one of those two things happens, the anxiety is totally justified.
So, the absolute crucial takeaway from this explainer is this. You can never, ever use the simple, low-dimensional math of a daily commute to wave away high-dimensional human safety rights. The engineers sitting there arguing that 300 kilometers is enough are looking at the world through a dangerously narrow lens. Everyday consumers who are demanding more, they aren't bad at math. They are subconsciously guarding their fundamental right to survival, safety, and instant migration. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on the next time someone tries to dismiss EV range anxiety. When disaster strikes, when the unpredictable chaos of life literally knocks on your front door and you need to protect your family, what kind of vehicle do you truly need sitting in your driveway? Is it a simple commuting box tethered to your city limits? Or do you need a Noah's Ark fueled up and ready for escape? Thanks for exploring this with me today, and I really hope this changes how you look at the numbers behind your dashboard.